school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk Today.
What is on your mind, Cayman? If you are ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, welcome back. Thank you for joining us. Another wonderful Wet Wednesdays. We invite you, as they say in some quarters, we invite you to be a part of a discussion. It's going to be open line 949-8037 or toll free at the comprehensive flow at 1-800-534-8255. Please share with us your thoughts. If you had a chance to listen to the press briefing, well, something to chat about. So stay tuned for Talk Today.
Talk Today is reminding you.
Avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Email Talk Today at candw.ky. Let your voice be heard.
And now, back to Sterling Dwayne Ebanks, Radio Cayman Talk Today.
Hey, welcome back. Thank you for joining us. It is open line 949-8037, 949-6990. We go straight to the phone. Say thank you for listening and sharing and calling. Welcome. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Not hearing the caller. Hello?
Good afternoon, Mr. Sterling.
There you are. There you are. How are you today?
Oh, not too bad. I like what I heard from the Honorable Mr. Bryan. He's a good man. I think he's a good man. I think what the government is doing is for the good. I believe that the thing with the referendum, etc. I think it's saying to some extent that the people have the opportunity to free themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when it concerns these things, you would be when it concerns the lottery and the decriminalization, etc. You know, it's good. It's good when you got a lot less Caymanians going to prison and people going to jail. So these kinds of things will
yeah.
I think it will be helpful for generations to come. You know, you don't have to worry about your little grandson or your daughter going to jail for smoking weed. I mean, that's freedom. You know, the tourists. Having a small quantity. You don't have to worry about going to jail. I think that is good. I think that is very good. If they can make that decision on it's election day, right?
The referendum, during the general elections, as you,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, to free themselves and to free others to be prevented from imprisonment or having these quantities of
right.
those small that's I think that's a good thing. To be
Let me
honest.
let me then ask, sort of in two ways. One, given the questions that are going to be there, obviously you're saying that it's a sensible thing to ask the public, the voters in particular, on what they think. But secondly, in your view, do you think that we need to have more education, information, and awareness that is as best as possible, as objective and impartial? So there's just information, or do you think that let me ask you from your perspective and also just generally, as an individual, do you think you have enough information to make an informed choice as to whether you vote in one way versus the other? And then by extension, do you think the wider public, that we have enough information? You first, do you think you have enough to vote one way or the other based on the information you have, or do we need more information, more education and awareness?
Well, I think we still need more information, but I would still agree at this present time.
Yes.
To free the people. Like Marla said, it has something to do with what Bob Marla said to free yourself, or emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. So you don't have to worry about the psychological effects. Granted, don't have to worry about a grandson and worrying about grandson. Oh, my grandson will go to jail if they catch him with a little spliff.
Yeah.
My daughter will go to jail if they catch her with a little spliff of weed or
right.
something like that.
But to your point though, that freedom to choose, and as you were saying, to free yourself, quoting Marla as you did, isn't that, I would say, premise and predicated, but isn't that sort of based on the fact that then you have not just adequate, sufficient information, but you have as exhaustive of information as possible, so you can make that informed decision. And I say that in relation to the one point that you're sort of focusing on, the decriminalization. Should there be more information on it, and to the extent that whether it's legalized or decriminalized, is there a difference? And if so, what is that difference?
Well, there's a difference between the legalization of it and decriminalization. But I think that possibly it will go stage by stage.
But why does it have to?
You got to start from the bottom of the ladder and take your time and come up.
Well, okay. I hear you, right? Ray Banker, if you walk next to Ray Banker, one of his steps, his stride is such that there may be 4 or 5 of mine or somebody else's, right? So he could start on the first landing of the stairs and almost step to the next landing, whereas some of us would have to take rung by rung. In using that analogy, what I'm asking is, first, do you have a clear understanding of the difference between decriminalization and legalization?
Well, actually, to be quite honest, different countries have different laws and different opinions.
Agree.
And different definitions. So, the processes between the law changes in other countries.
Right.
They'll have a different definition, sort of broken down. And because you got the wise, you got the wiser, and you got the wisest of men,
right?
And all that, and the more informed people,
right? But I mean, just from the perspective of it being decriminalized versus legalized, I wonder if there is a definition of that no matter where you are in terms of whatever that particular country's law is relative to the thing. And it would seem that there is a significant thing. I would hope to snag our excellent team member, Mr. Jeffy Ebanks, if he has time. Paul, ask him to come in and tell us about the press briefing, but he's a busy guy like the rest of our news team, so maybe I'll ask. Should have done that earlier. But to your point, now it's a time for that education and awareness and information sharing so that we can go to the ballot for the referendum and vote, this way or that way.
I support that because I support the people being free, free,
yeah, man. Free your mind.
Free in our people, free in our mind. And,
all right.
Not having to worry about little grandchild. Oh, my grandchild will go to jail.
Well,
you won't stop smoking that ganja.
Yeah, I hear you.
You're going to go to jail and this and that. Let them be free and then set themselves free.
I want you to maybe revisit us later if you wish, right? We got, that break to kind of catch up with. So we're going to do that now. Take the news and do our thing and then come back and, make some adjustments so that we can course correct. But thank you for sharing, right? And we're going to pick up on what you call and, sort of put on the table. So stay tuned, okay? All right.
All right.
Thank you, man. Always appreciate it. To our listeners, stay tuned. Join us. We want to talk to you. We want to talk with you. I'm going to hear what you got to say.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning.
Ouch!
When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Find your dream car with a Cayman National Vehicle Loan. Enjoy 100% financing, up to 8-year repayment, and a 7% fixed interest rate for the first 5 years. For eco-friendly cars, we'll waive your commitment fee. This only applies to new vehicles. Call 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
Well, darling, you gone and done it now.
What you mean?
You got Jack Hook on that Sherwin-Williams paint. He say his house looks so good, he going TCE Paint Shop today to buy sea blue color paint and fix up that boat shed.
Well, it's about time. Maybe now he'll get a wife.
That not gonna happen until he really in that old big one.
Lord, I hope this day is good.
TCE Paint Shop has in stock over 1,500 colors of Sherwin-Williams paints to choose from. Also the Uniflex and nationwide brands, sealants, and painting supplies. They're located at 27 Godfrey Nixon Way in Georgetown. TCE Paint Shop, 943-0565.
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, the Super American Circus is coming to Grand Cayman with 8 exciting shows from October 4th to 6th, all under the big top at Compass Green, North Sound Road. Get ready for daring acrobats, high wire walker Blake Wallenda, stunt bikes in the Ball of Steel, aerial ballet, and more breathtaking performances. Tickets $25 for kids and $45 for adults, on sale now at eventpro.ky. Proudly benefiting ARC and 1-to-1. Brought to you by the Ministry of Tourism and Ports, Cayman Airways, the Ministry of Border Control, Labor and Culture, Digicel, the Ministry of Health and Wellness, and Coca-Cola.
The DVDL Customer Support Unit is now open. Customers can book appointments for written and driving tests through DVDL's hotline at 945-8344. That's 945-8344.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
One radio station. Radio Cayman is the voice of the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
With your latest headlines, I'm April Cummings. In this morning's press conference, Tourism and Ports Minister the Honourable Kenneth Bryan says when the people vote in the next general election, along with a referendum question on port infrastructure, the other two questions will tackle the matter of a national lottery and decriminalization of cannabis. In international headlines, U.S. President Joe Biden deploys an additional 1,000 active duty soldiers to bolster aid efforts in the southeastern U.S. after the region was pummeled by Hurricane Helene. The soldiers will join the 6,000 National Guard members and 4,800 federal aid workers already fanned out across 6 states hit by extreme weather. At least 175 people are now known to have been killed by Helene, one of the deadliest storms to hit the U.S. in recent times. Hundreds of others remain missing, with search and rescue teams struggling to reach remote areas. Grenada's 4th Governor General, Sir Daniel Williams, has died following a period of illness. He was 88 years old. A lawyer by profession, Sir Daniel entered politics following the collapse of the left-wing People's Revolutionary Government, the PRG, of then Prime Minister Maurice Bishop in 1983, and was a founding member of the main opposition New National Party. Those are your headlines. I'm April Cummings.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Do you have a healthcare question but not sure who to ask? Contact HSA's Patient Call Center to speak to one of our experienced clinical team members. We are here to answer your questions and help guide you through your healthcare journey. Need to make an appointment? Our team can help. Contact HSA at 949-8600 or email info@hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
In September 1996, a former Cuban Navy Coney II class frigate, designated 356, was scuttled in shallow water in Cayman Brac. This ship was built in 1984 as one of 3 Coney II class frigates sold to Cuba to support its Cold War fleet. In 1996, the ship was purchased from Cuba by the Cayman Islands government to be scuttled in Cayman Brac as a dive attraction. The 2 remaining Cuban Coney II class were expended as targets. Frigate 356 was sunk upright, and initially her deck rested 90 feet 27 meters below the surface. A serious storm in 2004 broke the ship in two, and her bow now lists at a 45-degree angle, while her midships have become a debris field. Before being sunk, the ship was renamed Captain Keith Tibbets. It is one of only a few sunken Soviet naval vessels in the Western Hemisphere, and the only one of 2 that is easily dived, including her sister ship, SKR 451.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands, the ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom, the land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your Sister Islands.
Discover all that our Sister Islands have to offer. Looking for a fresh and flavorful experience in Georgetown? Look no further than the Farmers and Artisans Retail Market. Start your day with a refreshing smoothie or coconut water straight from the source. Hungry for more? Healthy lunches to carry you through the day, and choose from their seasonal local produce from okra, kale, peppers, breadfruit, and so much more. The healthy way to make your home cooking experience grand. Bring home a touch of island flavor with a variety of homemade jams, jellies, and sauces, from breakfast, lunch to dinner, and every snack in between. Indulge in clean, green eating at the Farmers and Artisans Retail Market. Swing by today to savor the essence of local goodness.
Radio Cayman Talk Today continues.
Hey, welcome back, and thank you very much for joining us. It is open line as we invite you to share your thoughts with us. 949-8037, 949-6990, or you can WhatsApp call, as I see a WhatsApp call coming through now, 925-32621. We got a few messages to read as well. You can call us on the toll-free line at 1-800-534-8255. Let's take this call. Left or right? Right or left? Let's go to the phone and say welcome. Thanks for calling.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, I'm very grateful. How are you?
Oh, very thankful.
Okay. I didn't catch the very beginning. Well, I heard you when you tuned in, but then it sounded like you may have been on a bit earlier, and then there was a press briefing. I didn't catch what they were discussing at the press briefing, but I did hear the first caller and, what he had to say. But then in the news break, I heard a little snippet from the press briefing. So I was wondering if you would just kind of tell me what the press briefing was about, and if what the first caller, if his comments had anything to do with the press briefing, if you don't mind.
Not at all. I'll do it quickly. And we didn't, when you heard the first caller, we had not long started. The press briefing, as you know, was on. We took it live, and we did it in its entirety. It means that we started a bit late, but it's all part of the information sharing. The first caller spoke to one issue relative to what was shared in the and the notion of decriminalization. In the press briefing, the Honourable Minister for Ports, in acknowledging that the question on the port referendum was only one of the three that is in his purview, that the two relating to, I guess, changes in the penal code, but the decriminalization of ganja and then the legalization of a lottery of sorts would obviously come under, I guess, ultimately the governor, all right? In the press briefing, certainly invite you to go back and maybe watch the government's CIG TV and whichever. And there was a lot of chat about it. Let me see. Well, you asked me what else and you shared, and I'll see how I can be objective.
Let me see if I understood you correctly. There were three items. One was concerning the pair, one was concerning marijuana, and the other was concerning legalized gambling. Am I correct?
Those are the three items that will be as referring to questions at now the general election, as opposed to when initially it was going to be potentially at $1.5 million extra cost if it was held before the next general election. And the Honourable Minister did say that not to hold him to it, but potentially if it's part of the general elections, it may only be another couple of 100,000, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I just want to follow up a little bit on what your first caller was speaking about. I have to say, and this might sound very strange coming from me, I'm really hoping, and I'm glad that Cayman has gotten to the point to, consider this criminalizing, especially with young people, just for marijuana, personal use. I'm not talking about importation and sales and so on, personal use. And I think if people would take the time to actually read up on marijuana, really know what marijuana is and its origin, they might feel a little different about it.
Right.
Marijuana came to the Caribbean by the Chinese and the Indians because they used it for meditation. After a day's work, the men, like they smoke cigars today, the men went into temples and they smoked marijuana as a means of meditating. The chalice pipe, was passed around. And then as time went on, they found out the marijuana was in fact very medicinal. Like anything else, of course, it can be abused. We can use Panadol, okay? But I think with knowledge and, prescription or directions or guidance, it, like anything else, in moderation, could be helpful. And I would certainly support decriminalizing it, especially with our young people, because once they get that record, that conviction on their record, that's basically the end of their lives.
Right.
There's
I can ask you,
university, there's no job,
Right.
They don't need that.
Yeah, I want to ask, right, and I hear you, and I think there's great merit in what you're sharing. As I asked the other caller, and I'll continue to ask, there's decriminalization, and we're told there's legalization. And presumably there's a difference, a significant difference. And I wonder why we're going to approach decriminalization versus legalization. And do we know, the collective we, know, the implications of doing one over the other? The difference. I mean, if you have any insight into that, please share with me.
Well, let me just say, I'm not a lawyer.
Yes, ma'am.
But based on how I'm understanding it, one versus the other, because I know this was brought up in the past, and at the time, the proposal was that it would be considered a soft crime. That's if you were, caught with a spliff or caught smoking.
Yeah.
And of course, that was something that instead of sending you to prison, they would try to get you enrolled in a workshop or a rehab or something like that.
Right.
And versus going to court and going to jail and then having a criminal record. Now, to me, what our government has to do, 'cause it's on them, they have to explain to us the difference of legalizing it and decriminalizing it.
So proper education awareness.
Yeah.
Yes.
We can understand it as one thing based on what we're hearing, but they have to tell us what they mean. And in other words, if they're changing the laws or the law, they have to tell us what this law is changing to and what it's changing from and what is going to be happening in the future.
Right.
It's not, to me, it's not on us to interpret what they're saying. It's on them to make us understand what they mean by what they're saying and what their intentions are.
Agree.
So that's my thing on marijuana. And I will also say, as far as gambling is concerned, lottery tickets, I think that's what you're talking about. I certainly would have no objection to that. Believe it or not, I have advocated for that for quite some time. And I'll tell you why I say that. It's already happening here. And the government, not this present one, but anyone, backwards, going forward, if they were to handle that right, that would be another source of revenue, where when the sellers are selling, there's a percentage that has to go to the government. They're going to do it anyway. You're not stopping that, So it might as well the government legalize it and then get something from it.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't object to that. I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't want to see us going to like the mafia-style gambling sort of thing. But I think, that can be contained. And as far as the pair, I will say this. This has always been my position on it, and it will remain. I'm a Georgetowner. Hogstay Bay is a very special place to me. We have to consider that we are an island, and everything that is here and that was here was put here for a reason by our Creator. We have a natural harbor out there. We see what is there. We don't know what is under there. I have no objection to a pier being built if it's necessary, but not at Hogstay Bay. I would love to see that just left the way it is. Put the pier somewhere else, and the port, if we need it. We have to consider climate change, and we can see that. We don't need anyone to tell us that. And the destruction and the expense that this causes every time we have a little bit of rough seas. We don't need a hurricane. So that, no, I would be objecting to if the intention is to do it at Hogstay Bay.
Mm-hmm.
But I could support it going somewhere else that is feasible. And that could be a whole other deliberation as far as I'm concerned with a pair.
Right.
And because if I just had to answer that in short order, I would say we don't need one. But like I said, if the majority think that we need one, then not at Hogstay Bay.
Yeah.
The ship can come in. They come in spots when the weather's rough out there. Why hasn't spots been a consideration for the pair?
Yeah.
I'm told there are other places further east, and that too could be very profitable to other people in the hospitality field, like the tour bus drivers, the taxi drivers, and so on. If the ships come up to the east, come in on the eastern side, and the people want to go into Georgetown, they can't walk it.
Right.
They have to take a taxi or take a tour bus.
Right. Can I, if you have a minute, I know we got to take a break. I want to engage you just for a second longer, if I can. If you wished, I know you are friends who use on Hogstay Bay, and I think many of us feel that way. Do you have in your mind, from the information available, a preference for where you think the cruise, dock should go?
Well, again, I'm no engineer.
Right.
I'm no Gina Petrie, Ebanks Petrie. But just based on, my knowledge of this island, being a Caymanian, I would say let's do it at spots. As I say, the ships come in at spots already when it's rough in Georgetown. So why don't the consideration be given for spots? Now, if for some reason that's not feasible, based on something that I don't know about, then let's look at where else it could be put.
Right.
Going further east is what I would recommend.
Yeah. And then, I guess, as a sort of corollary to that, we're talking about we have to take a break. Are you able to hang on? Do you wish to? Or you want to catch it another time?
I can hold on for 2 weeks. Yeah, I can go ahead, take a break.
Yeah, thank you for that. We'll do that, and then we take the other call. All right, stay tuned.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's home loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
Prescription refills made easy at Savannah Pharmacy. WhatsApp your prescription refills to 929-5045.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us, and to the wonderful caller who's just so gracious, allowing us to ask a question or two. Thank you for holding on.
Yes, you're welcome.
All right. And I really want, in asking you and hoping to encourage more of us, as you were sharing, we need more information in education. And, thanks for sharing your perspective on the port's location. So with that in mind, there's the cargo and then there's the cruise. Do you think that somehow we are either, the collective we again, conflating the issues? Are we confused over the difference, whether it's a cargo port or a cruise port, or is it sufficiently, clear enough?
The way that when I hear it being discussed, the way it sounds to me is like they want to do both.
Uh-huh.
And the pair. As I said, I'm not going to argue that perhaps the port needs to be expanded, but again, it don't have to be in Georgetown. We have already seen the problem that has created once it got expanded, some years ago.
Right. And when you say port, you mean the cargo aspect of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
For the cargo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
On that side, sort of facing the Emsley Memorial
Right.
Church. And then, and the pair, again, to me, it can be done separately, in two different locations.
Right.
And again, it would even help with some of the congestion in Georgetown.
Right. Now, I hear you. And then,
influx for
right.
the east.
Yeah, I don't want to belabor it and monopolize your time. I certainly don't want to distract the others who are. But let me then ask, and I'll also ask others who wish to, given all, that's going to have three questions on the referendum as we go into the general elections. As an individual and then collectively, do you think we now have enough information on these three subjects to be able to make a very informed decision? As we shared, the legalization versus decriminalization, that could be clear to some or not sure. With the cruise port, whether it's cargo and cruise, are we confused and conflating? But also, where is it going? How much is it going to cost? When is it going to be?
Right.
So do you think that, with all that in mind, as leading the question is that maybe do we have enough information to make a very informed, objective decision whether we vote in this way or that way?
Again, we have to be told exactly what the intentions are. You know, if something just cannot be said and put out there, and you think, like for example, you could think you're voting for A, and then it very well turns out that you're voting for B. You know, because you're voting based on how you have interpreted what has been said.
Yes.
So I think in a case like this, they will have to definitely organize some town hall meetings where the communities can attend and ask straight questions and get honest answers.
Right.
And then they can vote based on the information they have now received and hopefully, you know, what they understand.
Yeah.
And
thank you.
I was going to say, and also have the relevant people there who they would or should rely on to give answers when questions are asked.
Yeah. Thank you for that and for sharing. Maybe that helps us. Anything else before we take the other caller?
No.
All right.
I'll just keep listening. Oh, but yes, before I go, I don't know if Minister J might be listening. I'm so sorry I missed him the other morning on OC show. But I just wanted to say a big thank you to him for finally giving me a turning lane to get to my post box.
You know, we have mentioned that a number of times and the potential hazards. So Minister J, I think, needs to be commended.
I've been that dead horse for a long
You have indeed. Well, he gets it done, right?
And he promised me I wouldn't have to flog it anymore. So I just want to publicly say to him, thanks very much.
Right. Well, if he's not listening, someone sends it. And maybe since we're asking if the minister's listening, I wonder if ministers... No, I better not say that because I'm looking for such a... No. Thank you, Mom. Let's take this next call. You're welcome. Thanks for sharing.
Hey, good afternoon to you, Sterling.
And to you. How is your day going?
Pretty good so far, man. Trying to get a little lunch here. And just turned you on maybe about 20 minutes ago.
Yeah. Boy, a little bit of salty beans right now would be good too, no? A little bit of fried plant on the side. Oh, sorry. I'm on the air. All right, let me listen to you.
I'm looking forward to Friday's turtle stew, man. So.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to, going to Matt Brown's show.
Going to what?
Matt Brown's show this weekend. If not, catch it next weekend at least,
Oh, yes. That's starting this weekend, right?
Started last weekend. So we got this weekend and then next. Yeah. So we got 2 more weekends to catch it.
Okay.
All right. Okay. There we go. But anyway, you were calling to offer up your lunch to us. Is that what?
Yeah, man, to talk a little bit about my lunch. But I didn't hear the press conference because of the 4-letter word work, and that's okay.
Yeah.
So I plan on listening to it in its entirety in my own time. But I pick up from the conversation that you just had with the last caller about what the gist of that press conference was.
Right. And we also have another option that's, going to rebroadcast tonight on Radio Cayman.
Okay. What time is that?
I think it's 7:30 tonight, rebroadcast on Radio Cayman.
Okay, thank you for that.
Okay.
I'll listen to it there.
Sure.
To search for it on YouTube. All right. Well, given the 3 topics, I thought that they would add to the referendum. I thought that would be what they were seeking clarity on. Let me first congratulate the government, first of all, for putting it on there. As a Caymanian, I think we've long wrestled with those 3 issues, and it's about time that we allow the people to speak. I heard one of the questions that you just asked the last caller about seeking clarity. We don't need to muddy the waters too much.
Right.
In my view, maybe a second one of them, but certainly at least one of them will need a little drilling down, because certainly without any clarity on one of them, that is the peers, and one, because my understanding is that it was the port that we were looking to expand, not so much about the piers, right? Because the Minister of Tourism, the Minister of Ports, brought that group down about a month or 2 ago that went around talking about where the potential expansion of another dock, port for cargo could go versus piers for cruise ships.
Uh-huh.
But we know the threat that has been made by the cruise ship industry, which is a whole entire different thing in my view.
Mhm.
In my view, without going too much into that, I think we should focus heavily as a country and call them their bluff and say, because call them their bluff and focus on some of the smaller ships that are coming to Cayman and heavily promote them, heavily get involved with them, in my view, because they don't get to dictate what the destination wants. We could try to facilitate their needs in many ways, but I think for someone like myself who's very concerned about our environment for so many reasons, we don't need to have them threaten us in that manner, because at the end of the day, the way that I see it is that if they tell us that most people are picking the Western Caribbean itineraries because Grand Cayman is on it, then I'm not sure how they deny that money aspect of their business model. How do they just simply drop Grand Cayman? They can, but I'm sure then the ships that are coming that are smaller will see an increase, because if people are looking for an itinerary that includes the Cayman Islands or choosing it primarily because of the Cayman Islands, then I don't know how they can rule it out. That's a whole entire different thing, though. Now, on the three issues, bro, I would say that we need clarity surrounding which one they're talking about, whether they're talking about port expansion, and it can't be just a simple question like, do you want this? Because as the last caller just said, I could want a port expansion, or I could want cruise ship piers, but it's one where you're putting them and what kind of destruction particularly. So that one will need some clarity surrounding it.
Yeah.
The one surrounding the ganja, you asked another question to the other lady, and my little understanding of the difference is as small as I can, as simple as I could put it is, if you decriminalize, if you make something legal, then there's no penalty for whether you're found with a bucket of it, whether you're found with, a spliff. So it becomes much more complicated. But the other thing that I understand about why we could not, or it would not be smart for us to ask the question about making it legal, is because I understand that Bermuda, for example, a few years ago, had that question, and it was struck down by the UK. And that is because the UK does not allow for the legalization of ganja. They don't have it there, and we're overseas territory. So we can't ask our people to make it legal here because it goes contrary to UK law.
Right.
So we can decriminalize it, sort of like what we've... So an example would be alcohol is legal, but it becomes illegal when you drink too much. So it's a similar concept, the concept that you have personal use of ganja, so it's not illegal for you to have that.
I'm not so sure. Let me interject. And that last part, alcohol is legal unless you drink too much. I'm not sure that, and again, I'll just share with you my interpretation. It's legal no matter how much you drink, unless, of course, you're underage or you're driving or doing other things. So that little bit can be too much, right?
So that's what I mean in terms of complicating it.
Right.
So if we decriminalize it, what we're saying is for personal use, we don't care whether you smoke 100 spliffs, 1,000 spliffs, hopefully not, or one spliff.
Right.
And a police come next to you, you're not going to get arrested for that.
No, but you see, that's where, and I think, as you should have said, education, information is timely, accurate, objective, informative, right? There's a significant, in speaking to lawyers, understanding that the legalization or decriminalization is a significant difference.
Yeah.
One of our listeners shared something that's happening in the state of Florida. It's the Florida Amendment 3 and Marijuana Legislation, Marijuana Legalization Initiative 2024, right? And just one little quick blurb, it says if you, this initiative is on the ballot in Florida as an initiated constitutional amendment on November the 5th this year, 2024. And if you vote yes, that means you support legalizing marijuana for adults 21 years old and older and allowing individuals to possess up to 3 ounces of marijuana. So I want to emphasize that you can legalize it and you can say anything up to this quantity, whether that's a drum load or it's a bucket full, whatever, right? A no vote opposes legalizing marijuana for adult use in Florida. It goes on to talk more, but so I think if we, again, this is just speaking with lawyers trying to understand the importance of it. If we legalize it, we can put limitations on the quantity, and like we do with alcohol, right? You can use it legally, except where you can. You can't be under this age, and if you use it while you're operating a vehicle or other, I understand that it's even illegal to have alcohol while you're riding a bicycle, to have alcohol in an open container or whatever it is while you're walking the public roads.
Right.
The car parks.
Right.
But is that being enforced? It's even one of our public health officers, medical officer of health, shared. It's even illegal, according to him, publicly on radio on more than one occasion, if you're consuming alcohol at the sandbar and on the public beach or in the public parks. Is it being enforced? Do we even know that's the case? Well, I'm taking him on his authority.
So two couple of things that come to my mind. One, and not being facetious, but but we're not going to even go and think about what America is doing, because at the end of the day, which is why I think we shouldn't talk about legalizing it. That's why I'm talking about we're not confusing it.
Right.
What we're seeking to do is to take it off of the books that it's an offense.
Right, but sorry, I don't want you to lose your point, but just for that, not looking at what they're doing and even sometimes what the UK are doing don't make sense either, right? If you ask those who, voted for or against Brexit and other things. But the reason why I'm sharing that is that only because they're legalizing it and specifying that you have a quantity that you cannot exceed.
Understood. So
right.
what I'm saying is you can do the same with decriminalizing it, though, and you do the same thing,
right?
But you are not making it legal. Legal, as I said, my interpretation of legal, if something is legal, like I just shared, you can grow it in your backyard, you can sell it, you can do all these things. And what we're seeking to do is to say, no, we want you to stop arresting people for having a spliff in your hand.
But
so we're going to take that off of the book,
right?
Decriminalizing it, but we're going to have other stipulations surrounding it.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why I think that we, as I just mentioned, in terms of not using that word legal, is because we can't do something that's contrary, given that we're British overseas territory.
Yeah. But that aside, right? I mean, I'm not sure that's even the case.
Put that aside, Sterling.
No. The reason why I say that aside is because I'm not even sure.
Through it, and they struck it down because.
Right. Yeah, but again, just speaking to legal scholars, right? And I'm not proposing or opposing it on any respect. Yeah. They are saying that we have things here that we can have that doesn't matter whether the UK has it or not. The UK does have to approve because, we're subservient to them. We don't have a parliament. But why I said that aside is that in legalizing it, now, sorry?
I said that's a bigger conversation, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, fair enough, right? And this is something that we don't want to talk about, right? Nobody wants to even look at the blemish on their face. They must just ignore the elephant in the room. But
I suppose, and I'm sorry to stop you.
No, you're not doing it, man. Go ahead.
I understand the bigger picture that you're drawing, but I suppose in the context of these three questions,
right,
and in the context of a general election that's coming very close,
right,
I was trying to really capitalize on that question that you asked, but go ahead.
Right. So to sort of not to belabor, but to draw a greater emphasis on the need for the education and for the wording of the question, I put it to you in sort of this perspective. One, we can, according to legal experts, and here's an example from Florida, and there are others in other places, right? And I have not. I said I would, and I really just haven't had the interest to make the time to explore it further. I will, because I will have to, right? But you can legalize it and specify a quantity at which, if you go above that, is no longer legal possession, no matter what you do with it, right? But if you decriminalize it, again, just speaking to lawyers, and I've had two lawyers talking, and I get competing views, which was great, right? But speaking to lawyers, if it's decriminalized, there's an element of discretion. You still can be sanctioned for it. The process and consequence isn't as it is now, where it's illegal, but there's still a lot of angst in having its use. Whereas if it's legalized and it's X quantity, let's say 3 ounces, and I don't know how much 3 ounces is, right, honestly, in terms of how much that is, right? Yeah. If it's a piece of chocolate, I can tell you what 3 ounces look like, but in this I don't. But if it's X amount, then it's okay, right?
I hear you, bro, and
Yeah.
I understand the point that you're making.
Yeah.
But I would say that if you gave me the loaf of bread now and tell me, you see what I'm saying? So let's work with the fact that it's illegal
Okay.
now.
I hear you.
And we're seeking to decriminalize it, so you're not so easily able to just walk up to me and throw me in jail unless you're just really trying to be difficult.
But you
So
can.
I hear the cantankerousness that you're talking about.
Yeah.
And the difference of it. But the flip side of that now, which is the glaring one, and unless we care to make the hard decision of going on our own, where we can call it legal and take it off the framework.
But
we shouldn't try to climb the tree and complicate
No,
it. My
I hear you. But I want to challenge, right? Not just what you're saying, but us. Two things. Again, from those legal scholars who I am yet to have sufficient courage to come public, but they have shared, even with this issue as hotly contested as it is and emotive, we can have legislation proposed that the UK, no matter what it is, they have to still sanction, right? But if they don't have it, we can have it. Or if they want it and we don't want it, then we have to have it.
Did they give you any examples of that where we have something that they don't have?
All right, let me just revisit some notes that were. All right, I'll do that. I'll reach out to them and ask because
I can't think of one off the hand, but that would be useful.
immigration was one that was generalized.
But hold on, Sterling. That's a slightly different one,
But it's the same application, the same principle.
No, should we say this then? Since you and I think, are on the same page here.
Yeah.
We say we're grateful to the masters for allowing us some autonomy in our immigration law. I hear you, bro.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to work through that.
No, I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
And not make it so confusing.
Yeah.
The other one, though, real quickly, bro. In terms of gambling, again, we don't have to make it complicated. I, for example, would have a very difficulty allowing casino gambling. I have no problem with a lotto, for example, and people in the privacy of their own homes, for example, getting on a computer and deciding they want to do something on a computer. Now, that will impact a lot of other laws, for example.
Right.
So banking would have to allow for there to be funds, for example, if somebody was to get money from that area, and that goes across the board.
Right.
But
and I recognize that.
What do we mean? What I mean is we need to specify what, because I would vote very differently if I understood it just mean carte blanche across the board.
There you go. And this is what I recognize, that for some listening, hopefully they don't find that you and I are arguing, but where the discussion needs to lead to greater information. I know we got some calls. I want to thank you for that, but I was hoping to engage you, but let me just leave this with you and others. That loaf of bread analogy was used in relation to the Constitution. Mr. Tibbetts, for whom I have great personal respect for, talked about, half a loaf is better than no loaf. My response has always been then and now. What that loaf is John Joe. That means half of that loaf now is full with mold and the like. Half a loaf sometimes is better than none, but most times it's probably not good if the loaf isn't any good to begin with. So legalizing might be the option, but we start with decriminalizing. Will we ever get there? What will be the consequence if we never do? Do we have to take that break, sir? I'm trying hard to pay attention to my good folks there, boy. Sometimes I listen. To the callers, respectfully, if you can, join us after the break. Stay on the line.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Find your dream car with a Cayman National Vehicle Loan. Enjoy 100% financing up to 8-year repayment, and a 7% fixed interest rate for the first 5 years. For eco-friendly cars, we'll waive your commitment fee. This only applies to new vehicles. Call 949-8300 or email lending@caymanational.com today.
The Lions Club of Grand Cayman is proud to continue to serve our island community. During the last Lionistic year, they successfully carried out community projects like the Prostate and Colon Cancer Awareness Campaign, sight screenings, spelling bees, swim meets, and their community food pantry. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman looks forward to continuing their service during the 2024-2025 Lionistic year and for many more years to come. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman, where there's a need, there's a lion, serving the community for over 50 years.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At Valley Med Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Buttontown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin are the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit Valley Med Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Buttontown. Live happy, live healthy with Valley Med Pharmacy.
Annually, the Family Resource Center leads the anti-bullying campaign Stood Up throughout the month of October. This year, the campaign's theme is #CyberKindnessKY. Pause before you post, and is aimed at raising awareness of the harmful impact of cyberbullying behavior and educating children on responding safely and empowering parents with effective parenting strategies to intervene against cyberbullying and victimization. Teens ages 15 to 18 years old and parents are invited to the Teen and Parent Safety Training being held on October 12th from 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Stay informed and keep young people safe. Registration is required. Email frc@gov.ky for more details on this and their other Stood Up campaign details.
The rich flavors of Italy just arrived at Subway. Say ciao to the Italianos! Our 3 new Subway Series recipes, carefully crafted with an Italian flair. Try the Hot Shot Italiano for an enticing and zesty touch. The tastier than ever Ultimate BMT, generously stuffed with a mix of ham, pepperoni, and salami. Or go all in with the creamy chicken bacon Alfredo. New Subway Series Italianos. Chef-crafted greatness in every bite. Elevate your game only at Subway. Delizioso!
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walkers Road. Urgent care right now.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
The DVDL Customer Support Unit is now open. Customers can book appointments for written and driving tests through DVDL's hotline at 945-8344. That's 945-8344.
Annually, the Family Resource Center leads the anti-bullying campaign Stood Up throughout the month of October. This year, the campaign's theme is #CyberKindnessKY. Pause before you post, and is aimed at raising awareness of the harmful impact of cyberbullying behavior and educating children on responding safely and empowering parents with effective parenting strategies to intervene against cyberbullying and victimization. Teens ages 15 to 18 years old and parents are invited to the Teen and Parent Safety Training being held on October 12th from 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Stay informed and keep young people safe. Registration is required. Email frc@gov.ky for more details on this and their other Stood Up campaign details.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back and thanks for joining us. And thank you all for calling as we take the next call on the lines. Welcome, thank you for calling.
Captain,
Hey, General, how are you today?
I'm calling you to find out that.
Well, I'll tell you. You talk to me and I'll tell you how good you are and how bad it's going to be.
Good. Was the debate last night or it was just a while ago?
Say again, sir?
The debate was it last night or it was just going on a few minutes ago?
Yeah, you mean the U.S. was at the vice presidential debate, was it? The vice president, the U.S. one?
I thought I'd shifted to Radio Cayman.
I'll follow you closely.
Okay, you understand. Yeah, and then I'm not here to complain, but I think your airways is jammed up with too much ads. That your callers are, I'm sure they're getting tired of holding on. So I'm not here to tell anybody what they do, but it's very discouraging to sit and listen to everything except not what we want to listen to, but except giving the people that need to have the interest of putting their point forward, they should have a little bit more time.
I'm, inclined to agree with you. I'm trying to figure out, how best we can balance all the competing, interests. So, but thank you for that. I mean, we are, who knows, we might get sufficient opportunity to expand the talk show, but let's just see. Is the caller? Okay. Oh, sorry. Take the next one. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling. Not sure what happened there, but welcome, sir.
Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Oh, hey, Dwayne. Dominic Ebanks here. How are you doing?
Good, Dom. I'm not quite sure, but, how are you, man? How are you?
As I say, Sterling, every time any better, I couldn't stand it,
I hear you, man. I hear you.
It's certainly nice listening to the debates and all of the proposals and other stuff, especially with the upcoming referendum. I guess that's another sort of distraction from fixing some of the problems that need to be fixed before we even make a decision on some of these things. But, I guess let me just start with the Cruz Burton part, or the port. Let's use that word because it's not Cruz Burton anymore. It's basically a cargo port we propose in multi something, right? I'm like probably many Caymanians, we would like to see, a port. Where is the port going to go up? I think is the biggest thing on most people's mind. Going into that box and simply saying, yes, we want a port, we would like a port. Where is the port going to go? Because after that decision has been made by the public, the government then can go ahead almost on its own then and decide where that port going to be. They've given us a couple of examples. Some people would prefer probably piers in different locations, one in Georgetown, one in West Bay, and let the cruise ships spread out if that be the case. So there's so many things with that. Being in the tourism sector myself and understanding how the money trickles down and where the main profit is going, because most of the profit really even doesn't sometimes get to the shore. It's already gobbled up by external sources. And just as fast as we can make the money on shore, it's being then exported back out into other jurisdictions, And, it almost reminds us of the Caymanians before they would go to sea, send money back home to build up Cayman, make our homes better, build, bigger families. Obviously, people are doing the same thing. And with some of those statistics that was on this morning, I think it was on Mr. Overseas. Well, when we heard this meeting with the Minister of Tourism today, and just before your show,
Mm-hmm.
so it was given a breakdown, and obviously they didn't have all the statistics in there to answer everybody's question because some things not taken into account because nobody in Cayman knows the one thing, which is the profit, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can hear some of these companies posting that they made $500 million profit in the first quarter, and then when you look back at it, how much of that money trickled down to the individuals that are working for those companies and what salary scales they're on. They're still making so much money, but then, even just because the bank down the road is paying somebody for doing the same job $5,000, perhaps you should not be able to pay your staff $25,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be the case, So that would be trickling down. So those Caymanians now can build a better life, do a bigger house, hire a helper, hire whatever,
Mm-hmm.
more money in other ways. But, of course, the money is already in the hands of a few elite people or businesses or people really at the end of the day. And those people don't care to share, So that money has always been trickling in that form as minimum as possible because that's what it's called, trickling, right? You didn't say pouring down, You got somehow swim up the stream if you want to get to that source.
Mm-hmm.
But with that said and done on the tourism part, I just want to pause there because, like I said, we all would, we know we're growing because we're being driven by development rather than us driving the development because that's what we did. We drove the development and now it's dictating us, right?
Right.
And at the end of the day, we're going to have to pay a huge price somewhere down the line. Something will have to be sacrificed.
Yeah.
And we've already seen
Well, let me take what you shared and maybe quick two things. One, when we see this construction, are we looking at it as what it is? Maybe destruction and not development. Development is supposed to advance and ensure a better quality of life, standard of living, right?
Yeah.
And so with that, and some people be offended, but the question has always been asked, never properly answered, for whom will you develop and how is it benefiting, I think is evident in what you've shared. But the other thing, and you said it, and I realized that I've said it, and I've heard of many, and I've only recently been corrected when we say that as the Cayman seafarer went overseas, so too our workers in our shows for the last 4 or 5 decades, and it's the same thing. I'll give it to you how it was given to me, and I have the same level of respect for them as I know you would. They said, no, that's not the case. And I said, well, how? And they said, well, when they went to sea, and these are seafarers who shared, they were on a ship for extended time. They were never in port for any length of time, so they always had intentions to return home. Now, some settled, usually around the Gulf ports in the U.S., but that was different. And then they not only became acclimated to their new environs, but they also integrated in their society. Many here, in their view, well, it's just a passing opportunity for as long as possible, for as much as possible. I don't know if that's something that I've fully understood, but I give it to you. What do you think of that?
Well, still, I don't need to think about it because I'm living in that just like everybody else. There's a few elite people really, and we import them more to add to that elite list because there's always a bigger fish to eat up the smaller one, as they say.
Mm.
And as the bigger fish come in, you can see him bite out all the smaller fish and consolidating it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And that in my opinion, that is something that government has sort of failed to do, to consolidate.
Mm-hmm.
They have all these assets and they're unable to do it. And when those assets go into the private sector knows how to consolidate them and invest them to even make more money out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And government has this sort of thing like, even like the minister said on his press, what are you talking about? Even though they got a budget approved, but they only had to spend a certain amount of it, we could just leave the money in the pan. And the politicians are going to say, look, you need to spend that budget because next year you're not going to be able to ask for more because you spent less. Right? Now how it works. So at the end of the day, if you don't spin it, you're not going to get it next time. But I want to move away from tourism a little bit because I think in that referendum it has two other questions. It is one really because it's going to have something to do with is it decriminalizing or something?
The ganja and the lottery are the two other areas. Yeah.
Right. We already got both of them going on here in full broad state, right?
Uh-huh.
Now, as far as the gambling is concerned, government really needs to get into it to tax it, because there's so much money going on inside of it. And again, there's a few elite controlling it, and those few elite are the ones profiting, while all the other players are the losers, right? But it needs to be, like I say, somehow where the government has a hand in it and knows and controls it, even though there might not be enforcement, because that seems to always be the problem going on, no enforcement.
Right.
But they need to have their hands in it so they can get some form of statistics to see, okay, this is how much revenue being made out by us taxing it and what's being, brought back. I just want to slip away from that one just for a second and go into the one with the marijuana, talking about decriminalizing it, right? And I have said before that decriminalizing marijuana, right? Yeah, it might give you a free pass to get out of jail, unless, the court decide they just need you for some other reason, so they hold you to it, like you were saying. But decriminalizing, who's going to be growing this ganja is the question for all of us to smoke up, right?
Where are you getting it from?
And, where are you getting it from? You're making it illegal to grow it and so forth, but you decriminalize it for us to consume it, smoke it, whatever you want to do with it. It's not starting to make no sense, because we saw all these interviews here a couple of years ago having their big seminars in the hotels talking about marijuana distributing and how much money it's making here and there at the end of the day. And there's not going to be no trickling down, because what they're keen in to do is to set the foundation for us to decriminalize it so that they can profit from our destruction. Right? If anybody going to self-destruct, in my opinion, is how I would rather see it. So you legalize it, that we grow it, we control it, and whoever will consume it, they, will have to be to the age and follow those laws that we put in place. But just saying decriminalize it, I can't just be for that just because somebody won't get out of jail or out of trouble just because, you're breaking the law. We got laws that, after you've taken decriminalize it, you break the laws, you can still try to ship it in even more than, because now you can have more consumption of it, right? So you create one problem to the next.
Yeah.
Because, like I say, where is it going to be grown? Now, you know what's going to happen? Those entities are going to speak about the community to try to set the foundation now so that they can control it as usual. They're the ones now going to fight against these little nomads that are trying to stick it in on their little gas and so forth. They got penalized them to the maximum because they are now insane in their profit margin. That's what will happen. But at the end of the day, we can't have our neighbors next door growing it by the ton, shipping it over here for us to destroy our youth and our future.
Yeah, man.
Right? As it's currently doing. So, I know some people feel that's the gate. Let's get it decriminalized first, and the next time we have a referendum to legalize. I'm just assuming that's the viewpoint.
The half a loaf idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But at the end of the day, like I said, that's just my 2 cents.
Thank you, man.
To say what I have to say, but
Yeah,
you
man.
have a safe day as well.
You too, and thanks for that too. And as the caller shares, I mean, the idea, call to control. If it's legalized, can you measure, test, regulate, and assess? Then show that the quality is there. All right, the news, and then the callers after. Thank you for holding on.
Covering Little Kim and Brad. Cover me.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market.
Workforce Opportunities in Residency Cayman has wrapped up its 2024 paid summer internship program. The program was designed for Caymanians pursuing a degree or certification in the construction industry. This summer, multiple students engaged in real-world projects across various disciplines within the construction industry, ranging from architecture and engineering to project management and building consultancy. In regional headlines, Caribbean health ministers have joined their counterparts from the Americas in committing to implementing a strategy and action plan to address sepsis, an extremely serious clinical condition caused by infectious agents. Medical authorities have warned that delayed diagnosis and treatment can be fatal, and that globally, sepsis is responsible for 20% of all deaths. The new strategy and action plan to reduce the burden of sepsis through an integrated approach was approved today at the ongoing 61st Directing Council of the Pan American Health Organization. Bermuda's police service is warning the public against providing personal information to a person with a Caribbean accent impersonating a police officer. Bermuda police say that while the caller ID shows the Bermuda Police Service with the BPS crest, other calls are coming in from an unknown number. It says that on all occasions, the person claims to be a police officer, but then refuses to provide a police badge number. BPS says its officers will never contact anyone requesting personal information by phone. but will instead ask the recipient to attend a police station at a specific time and date. Those are your headlines. I'm April Cummings from Radio Cayman's Newsroom.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
The DVDL Customer Support Unit is now open. Customers can book appointments for written and driving tests through DVDL's hotline at 945-8344. That's 945-8344.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
Radio Cayman Talk Today continues.
Hey, welcome back. Thank you for joining us, and thanks for your patience, but also your persistence as we take this next call on the WhatsApp. Hey, thank you for calling.
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, Mr. Sterling. How are you doing today?
Hey, good, man. Thanks for joining in. I hope you're having a great day as well.
Yeah. I listened to the press conference and everything, and I had some questions seem along the same lines as well about else that called.
Yes.
Saying
yes.
What's the lack of information? It's like voting for a candidate and all of them is blindfolded and you're not gonna know information on none of the candidates. This is how this referendum is. So I do not know, and I would have think and I cannot believe that all 19 members agreed for this referendum under this condition. I mean, what is the horror?
Mm-hmm.
You know, if they got to wait till next administration, so just bring a business case and lay it out in front of the people, so the people could get a good idea to vote.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the referendum is psychology. They're using psychology on like let the fools vote and then they don't have no idea what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
This should be illegal. I do not know how the UK is allowing the kind of things to happen. They might be just laughing at us and not telling us that they're laughing at us. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, this because the lack of information and information could change the alternative of the vote. Because okay, I vote, say now I want a port, right? When they come to actually do the port, the stuff that is involved in doing the port, a lot of stuff involved in doing the port that I don't agree with.
Mm-hmm.
And then that would have changed my vote from a yeah to no, because the EIA can still stand. We're gonna build it. What the budget gonna be? I think I heard something saying that they have already had put aside a budget for the port. So how could you put aside a budget for the port if you don't even have a piece of land? You know, so all of those questions are
mm-hmm.
puzzling.
Mm-hmm.
With this marijuana, with the legalization now of the marijuana, or the criminalization of the marijuana rather, it can bring more chaos than it can bring stability.
Mm-hmm.
Because not only can you justify where you got the marijuana from, it's that it can be a monopoly for big business to hold the license.
Mm-hmm.
You know, who gonna control the license? You know, am I a little small man allowed to get a license to sell? All of those things, you know. And I mean, if it's about 3 ounces of weed, like where I heard you say you don't really know how much that is. That's about 3 sandwich bags.
Okay. Hold on, a gallon size, sandwich bag, or a snack size?
Well, it would be the big sandwich bags.
Okay. I mean, I know what 3 ounces is,
about
but
three of those, yeah. So
yeah.
you can imagine, So where would you get that from? I mean, if it's a licensed person that is selling that, then they got to know that that's the same kind of weed, and the police got how resources to do all of that, and with the gambling thing, you got to give out license. You got to give out license for people to sell, or is the government gonna control it themselves, or if it gonna be an international another international company come in and run it? All that we would want to know before we vote. Intellectual people and common sense people would want that information before the vote.
Yeah.
It's like you don't want information on a candidate before you vote for him.
You would want it to be
common sense will tell you that, or any decision you make, you want information on it. So the government, all 19 of them, I can call them up, all 19 of them is making fool of the Cayman people. And tell me something now, if I don't vote in it now in the referendum, I go inside the booth. They're gonna give me two papers, one for a candidate and one for the referendum, right? So I went to vote. So they're saying now they only gonna count for the people that actually vote. So are they counting only the people that only voted for the referendum? They can be two different papers, or the people that went to the election poll.
Right.
Because I could still go vote for a candidate, and I still went to vote.
But as
I
you're
just refused not to vote on the referendum at all.
Yeah. Well, you are right in that point. That's similar with the Constitution, right? So it's maybe you go into booth 1 to choose your candidate, and then you go to booth 2. To vote one way or the other. But if you don't realize that, you might just exit intending to come back, and you would not be able to. But all good points you make, and the one that is evident that we're not saying sufficiently, this is presumably not binding. So what's the point? Is that what you're inferring as well?
Well, that's true too. So what's the so what's the rush? What's the use of doing this?
Right.
So it is a psychological thing. That's what I'm.
That's what you're saying.
I'm
spelling it out. Yeah.
They're saying that it isn't binding, but if they can find something to bind it, whatever it would be, if the outcome is in their favor, because they can say, see, the people wanted this,
right,
and this is what we got delivered. Even if the EIA say that it can be done, or a port can be done in this particular place or whatever, we can still do it at any cost because the people want it. This is the kind of psychological games that is coming, like it's being played with. This is that their term is over. They done what they done already. So why are you pushing extra expense on top of the contract at the end of your reign? On top of the contract for something that might or mightn't be, it doesn't make sense. So something is missing from the whole scenario. So that is all I got to say to it.
Thank you for that, man. Thank you. Have a good afternoon. Okay. All right.
Yeah, man. Okay.
All the best. Thanks for that call. As we take the next. Hey, welcome. Thank you for sharing.
Hello. Good afternoon, Sterling.
Hey, my friend. How are you today?
Pretty good, man. I just listening into the conversation.
Likewise, man. I'm enjoying people's willingness to share their perspective.
Yeah, obviously the press conference is the hot topic of the day. I chose not to watch it simply because I was sick of hearing politicians repeat themselves. And this time looked like Kenneth brought an economist with him. And instead of bringing an economist, he should have brought somebody that could have consulted him on common sense. But we didn't particularly get that. And when I say that, I don't mean that as an derogatory comment towards Kenneth. What I mean is that how is it that we're going to discuss anything called statistics and economic benefit or non-economic benefit if we haven't determined a carrying capacity in any regard, right?
Right.
Because clearly, if you're having a party at your house and your house is 5,000 square feet, you're limited to how many people you can actually accommodate. Right? And then the minute that you go above and beyond that, you start to create breakdown, you start to create a bad experience, and then, it becomes something undesirable. Now, I only highlighted that and illustrated that to say, out of all of this 18-page report from the Economic Statistic Office that they produced, which I got a copy of, that was actually the only thing I was interested in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, after going through it, I have not gone through the whole document, but I didn't see anywhere at all that even hinted at the idea of what our carrying capacity is, what it is that we can manage, what our infrastructure allows for it to have a good experience in the Cayman Islands, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be stay over or whether it be cruise.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe that there's much argument in regards to having to upgrade the facilities in which we have, whether it be cargo facility, enhancement for the cruise experience. Now, I would like to just point this out because, again, I didn't hear any of that conversation, not even from the reporters that were there, didn't ask these questions, right? Now, I want to know, why is it that we took the choice or made the decision? I want to know which committee, where are the minutes, why did we get to the point where we decided to close the North and the South Terminal in Hawkeye Bay, right? We decided to close them down after we built the Royal Watler Terminal simply because we wanted the people who were on contract with government that had those leases at the Royal Watler Terminal to realize business. And okay, great, fine. We want them to do well. We encourage our businesses to do well. We do whatever we can to facilitate for businesses to do well, especially when government is holding the lease for the property in which they're renting. I get that. I'm not confused as to why they chose to lock everything off and let everybody come to Royal Watler. But what I don't understand is why we chose to let them park tour buses on our cargo port while our cargo ship got to sit out in the harbor, not even docked up to the dock. You know, they got to stay out on engines or on anchorage waiting for crews to leave in order for us to continue cargo. A country that imports every single essential goods into these islands, we got to put secondary because we got some cruise passengers using our cargo port, right? And no one has asked that question. No politician has addressed it. I have asked Kenneth this directly. So it really befuddles me as to why he didn't include that in his press conference conversation, because it's a very serious, important question. One, why haven't you guys tried to do a study to find out what our carrying capacity is, so that way we can create the best possible experience for the visitors that come to our shores, since they're so important according to them? And why is it that we have closed North Terminal and the South Terminal, which have deprived all of the businesses on that side of the Georgetown Harbor? Hard Rock Cafe gone. A lot of other businesses gone because they're all on that end. So when we used to have a lot of the people disembarking at the North and the South Terminal, we had all that foot traffic on that side of the island. You can't revitalize Georgetown. You can't breathe life back into something that we purposely killed. We're the one that holding the stake in the heart of Georgetown and talk foolishness about paving the roads and putting up British street lamps. So that's what they got down that road that they closed off anyway. But at the end of the day, Sterling, we need to start making sense with what we're doing. We had an entire press conference to tell us absolutely nothing. Now, I'm not gonna get too far into the conversation about the referendum, because Kenneth already know my feelings towards that, right? And the fact is that it's non-binding. It's not a government it was not a government initiated referendum. It was a people initiated referendum. So if Kenneth need to ask a question, here is the most important question he need to ask himself: would we be having a referendum at all if the people of these islands didn't sign a petition to force a referendum in the beginning? And if that answer to that question is, well, no, we wouldn't be having a referendum if the people didn't bring it, then why are we not having a people-initiated referendum as opposed to a government-initiated referendum that is not binding? Which means if the government don't win, and when I say the government don't win, because we all know what the government wants. So if it don't go in the way of the government, then the government don't have to bind it. They can say, oh, well, we'll talk about it next 2 years and have another vote on it. So we need to be very clear on what exactly they're trying to do. I don't oppose enhancing the cargo facility and moving it out of Georgetown, because I don't think they can coexist. But we have degraded the experience of the cruise passengers by shutting down the 2 terminals in Georgetown. we could have offered a better service and experience to them had we not done that. And yes, if they wanted to build a pier, let's have a national conversation about a pier, right? Because a pier is not a birthing facility in the grand scheme of things, because you could actually build a pier on piles that has very minimal impact to that environment. If we were to vote yes on something, that would be the only thing that I would agree to. Not all this upland development and piling in and dredging out and creating all this land to put more stores that would disenfranchise the already existing stores on Georgetown Harbor, because that was the original plan, you know. Royal Caribbean and Carnival Cruise Line wants to control every single dollar spent on and off of that ship. Hence the reason why they wanted to build this huge upland development on this cruise berthing facility so they can turn Cayman into the next Falmouth of Jamaica. You hear what I tell you? So that way that all of the stores and all of the entities that benefit from the cruise passengers, the cruise ship got a hand in their pocket, which means that all of the stores behind the gate, because how many people can go behind Royal Waterloo gates now and buy anything that any store is selling behind it? Zero. Not one single person in Cayman can go behind it other than a cruise passenger. And the cruise passengers, when they leave there, they go on a bus to a pre-booked tour where nobody in Georgetown really get any of the benefit. So I'm a little confused with all the merchants in Georgetown and the other merchants who are benefiting with the tour operating, because that's two separate sides of the table, my friend. Because the people over at the Hard Rock side of Georgetown ain't making no money. And the people who are making the money, who have sold, they sold to the pre-booked tours, letting the cruise ship run away with the lion's share while we sitting down eating the dribblings. And you talk about trickle-down effect. Let me tell you something. We missed a golden opportunity during the close down of COVID. We learned how to adjust our economy to zero tourism. We didn't die. We didn't fade away. I mean, we didn't die unless we took the vaccine. But anyway, that's another topic. But at the end of the day, we adjusted, Sterling. We made sure that we made those adjustments. And how come we didn't restructure our cruise passengers on the tours, on how we benefit from the tours? We didn't. But anyway, we could talk about this on and on, but that press conference was useless and was unnecessary and brought in an economist to show us numbers, try to scaremonger us. Who benefiting from those numbers? Because it's surely not the people that live in an Eastern District. And surely not the people who working hard every day trying to keep the light and the water on. Surely not them. But anyway, have a good one.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Good to hear the people speak and good to provide a platform to do so. With respect, I think this is the final break, and then we take the rest of the calls. Stay tuned.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's home loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
Freedom, Cayman Brack. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
The best foundation you can wear is glowing, healthy skin. The offices of dermatologist Dr. Dwayne Porter specialize in enhancing your skin's well-being. Whether you're seeking advanced skincare, including any skin cancers, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email drporterkman@gmail.com or call 946-9020. That is 946-9020.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back and thanks for sharing with us. We'll take the remaining calls. Welcome, thanks for calling.
Hello.
Hello.
Mr. Sterling.
How are you?
Not too bad, giving the Lord thanks. Open my eyes to see another one.
Thank God for His mercies, His protection, you know.
He's so good. He's so good. What's the topic today?
Well, it's open line, but many people are talking about the press briefing that just transpired with the Honorable Minister for Tourism and focusing on either the 3 referendum questions or just discussion in general, port legalizing ganja and the lottery.
Well, I'm not going to get into too much, but I got a little thing to say about the beach. But
go right ahead.
First, let me say about the port.
Mm-hmm.
The port should have been in South Sound. It still need to put it there. If you build a cruise ship in South Sound, you won't have all of these problems. And very, very little bit bad whether we get from the southeast or there, that the shipyard get in there.
Right. Now, just for my benefit, maybe others as well, but mine, when you say South Sound, I want, if you can, identify the area. So is it, you got a specific, Red Bay.
We say Red Bay.
Which is where the old sea captain said we should put it.
Right on.
Okay,
we
so
had a plan for that. I was with them at the time. We had a plan for that.
Okay, so Red Bay, not near the South Sound Key or the cemetery, but further out.
No.
Okay.
About that. Come in the main channel. Open the channel. And dredge inside there. Come up a distance from the reef and dredge go up towards Dollarese. Say Dollarese where it was up that side, right?
Okay.
We had a plan that when we done that, we could have put 5 cruise ships up in there.
Okay.
And if they still put the cruise ships there, and that's the best place, or not, because when the cruise ships is up in there, remember now, all that sap and stuff that's coming out of the stacks is going back to sea.
Right. But if
we port out of Georgetown, if you put it in the North Sound, all of that stuff would have dropped all over the whole island.
Right.
And don't tell me that stuff coming out of the stack, because I know better than that.
I want you to get to your other points, and if the others online can stay, but I don't want to belabor it. But I just want to ask you.
That's what I want to say about that, really.
Okay, fair enough.
That's where it should go.
Okay.
Now, another thing. I just now heard about something about the beach being corroded. I went down
eroded,
by the Royal Farm.
Yeah.
I went down by the Royal Farms. And, sorry, it's disgraceful to go and look at to say that we got such a good beach or had such a good beach or whatever. The building is broken down in the beach on both sides. The Royal Palms is down, and then you got a little place in between the Royal Palms and where the Seagull was there, them apartments there on the beach side, where the white sand is washed all the way up, like it usually do.
Right.
But right where the Seagull them is, they're fall down, the building is in the water again. Now, I know it's not going to be long, or if they not already did it, they're going to be asking the government to help them with this or help them with that. I'm sure that's what they're going to do. But you know what I think government need to do? I not think this is what they need to do. They don't need to tell them, or they don't need to ask them. They need to make them take all of that cement stuff off of the beach. And if they take all of that crap up off the beach will come back like normal.
So that's all the cement walls and stuff.
Because that way the water will be able to run up its distance and left the sand and go back down.
Okay.
Now the water is coming up and hitting the wall. I'm going to splash and take everything out with it.
And when you say that cement stuff, you mean all the walls, the sea walls, whatever?
All the walls.
Physical structures.
All the walls, the building, the swimming pool, the bars, anything on the beach.
Okay.
Make them take them off of the beach. That's not ask them. Make them take them off of the
Okay.
beach, and we came on to get our beach back.
Okay.
That's what the government need to do. I mean, hey, nature built the islands, sir. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
No man have built the islands. I mean, you start tampering with nature, you know what happens. All
Right.
kind of thing goes on.
Right. Well,
They need to make these people. When we told them about the what the one right best the Pizza Hut name again?
the Marriott with Radisson from the days back. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
When they changed that over and they were going to build these things down on top of the beach, we told them, don't let them do it because it's going to ruin the beach. They made them build them all down on the beach. Now when the water come up and hit the wall, they take all the sand away. When you got 2 foot of water against the wall, or 3 foot of water against the wall, and you got to move the people out and send them down to some other place. How Western Hotel, how all down that side of the beach not corroded like that, not like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're not built down on the beach.
Right.
Simple.
Well, I appreciate you sharing that.
Need to make them people move every scrap of cement that they got down on that beach, move it back up about the land line like how they used to do it to begin with.
Yeah.
And the sea will come up and wash up with the sand, left the sand, sink into the sand, and go back down, and we had a good beach back again.
Yeah, man. All right.
But government need to make them do that, not ask them to do it or foolishness.
Yeah. I appreciate it. Anything else you want to share before we take the last calls?
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you.
I mean,
Thank
I'm
you.
an old Caymanian, you know. I walk that beach from 5 o'clock in the morning. When I was 6, 7 years old, I'm 82 now.
There you go, man. So I pray you continue to walk it as you wish, man. Thanks again.
So I know how the tide used to go. 1 minute the tide bring the sand up this way, next minute it carry back that way.
Yeah.
But you never saw no buildings down in the sea, down on the beach. You gotta make the government gotta make them people take every bit of that cement off the beach, and they'll get their beach back.
Yeah.
Don't ask them, don't tell them, make them do it.
There you go. Hey, thank you very much. All right.
It's stupid to make them build down on the beach like that. It's ridiculous how it looks.
Yeah. Well, you speak. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And these are the, well, I'll say that comment. Let's take this next and then the last one as we go to our WhatsApp. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, afternoon, Mr. Sterling.
Hey, how are you? Good to hear from you.
Man, I'm doing really great,
All right.
But
it'll be you and then it'll be one of the callers. So you're second to last call.
yeah, man, I gotta make it pretty quick, still. I gotta try my best because I completely agree on what the last caller was talking about. I wish I could say it any better, but he said it perfectly fine.
Indeed.
In my opinion, I think that the force needs to be there, and I don't care how people feel about it because they've already messed up with our mental wealth. So I don't really care about how they feel about their little mental wealth on this situation. If it can give them a feather buster or whatever it is, to deal with. I personally went to that beach as well, and where he talking about by Royal Palms, and I am shocked, Mr. Sterling. Like I told you, I think I've been speaking about this so many times about how we're gonna be the next Atlantis in the 7 Mile Beach. We're not started yet, We're not started yet, sir.
Yeah.
We're not started yet. This is just literally just a little taste of what it is because we've already been exposed. They've already been exposed now about the lies that they have been talking about how safe their plans is and how well they've assessed it and all these different type of things, right? And then yet you got simple people out there raking the ground, hoping that it would level out so it wouldn't be recognized. You got it happening out there by the Grand Hyatt as well. I don't want to hear nobody talking foolishness in my head about, oh no, but that's coastal erosion. That is man-made. That is man-made. You don't push, crush and run and try to fill in a gap that is being taken back by the beach. You don't.
Yeah. Man.
You don't. This is the thing that we have here on this island. But then I wanted to push on top of the thing where the caller before what he was talking about. I don't like these small. I don't know if this is incentives what they're talking about in the press briefing, but I'm not excited about the decriminalization of the marijuana, sir. It's not that I don't support marijuana need to legalize, or if this is the process that they take to get to legalize. But decriminalization, boy, care if you don't have an idea and legalizing, I still don't play with it. I don't like playing with it. It's bad enough as it is right now.
It is, I think, as I listen to everybody else on all the topics, it seemed like a request, for more information, education, so that they can.
Well, can I say one little thing about that request for information? They do not want to hear about it. I'm living proof of this. If everybody want to have a different opinion on it, but I'm living proof of it. I was canceled off of that Cayman Mall Road because of the fact that they do not want to know about marijuana. They do not care enough to learn about marijuana.
Yeah.
This is a sad situation when you know that there is a small, minority of people that care about it, and it can be bigger if we all sit down and listen to what's going on. But you see this thing called mental health and all these things. Nothing is healthy about being mental. Nothing is healthy. Nothing is healthy. Look at it, they're taking away our mental wealth. Now it's health. Oh God, I gotta be worried about my mental health. Come on now, cry me a river. Sometimes these people need to stop bashing other people. This is a crab in the bucket mentality. Stop bashing everybody, because look here, marijuana doesn't discriminate nobody. But people discriminate marijuana. Oh God.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Thanks, right? Anything else before we take the last call? All right. Take care of yourself. All right. Talk to you again when you're ready.
All right.
All right. Thanks again. And we go to the hard lines and take the final call. Welcome. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, hello. Welcome.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
Good, thanks. And you?
Good. And you will be the final call. Oh.
Thank you.
Thanks for taking time as well to share with us.
I got two things to hit on. Continue with the conversation about the beach. The gentleman is very right about the concrete walls. That's right. If you don't move the concrete, the sea cannot bring the sand back up. I mean, there is strong validation for common sense and experience. I mean, you're talking to all the Caymanians like that first man that called. You have to listen, man. I don't care how many degrees you got. Common sense has value, and experience has value. He's watched these things for years, and I come from the old school too. I'm not probably not as old as him, but I'm not common sense. So, yeah, we need to get rid of those walls and those pieces of concrete about long beaches. Let the ocean and let nature do its job. We'll be better off. No, politics. I listened to Mr. Hugh this morning, and I think he has good intentions. I have no doubt about that at all. But we have to realize, and I say this open for Caymanians, to listen. Politicians run on an agenda, and not all the time is their agenda is higher than them. So they may want to do different, they may want to do the best in the best interest of the island and people, but they can't just get up and do it. So we have to keep that in mind. We're working for people who say they can do this and do that and do the next thing, because they may want to do it, it might always work that way. And he's made a quote, he says, people are looking for more organized politics. I think he said it right. But how I looked at that statement is that, yeah, we don't need organized politics. We need organized government. We need people organized that can represent a country and balance it, because that's not what we're getting. We're not getting that. So somebody has to come up with a better way of doing things, and it's not in rocket science, so to speak. Just do all the things that's not going to hurt the country or hurt the people. I think it's more to it's more to look at than just environmental impact on the ocean, marine impact. You're going to have more permits for more jobs to drive buses, and companies are going to come out the bush when you get the cruise ships. So you have added problems to traffic as well. You don't have enough. We don't have enough tourist attractions. I've driven for 8, 10, 12 years. When you have 5 cruise ships in, the place is a total mess. And it's chaos. We have controlled it very good. And we get, kudos from people and from countries that look at us, but we cannot always ride the wind with a sail is flapping and think, it's going to still hold. We have to repair our sails. So the only way to do that is to focus on the things that we need, not what we want. Focus on the things we need. And in everything you do, there's always a negative side. So I always weigh, when I'm making choices, I weigh my negatives before I weigh my positive. Because if I don't weigh the negatives properly, it's going to affect the positive. And the positive may not be as positive as it should be. So it's all an analysis and a method of management. We need management in government. We don't need politics. Everybody's tired of politics. That's foolishness. It needs to come down to real managers and people who are concerned about making the best for the country so that the country can be even.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you sharing, and anything else you want to? All right. Yeah, caller?
Yeah, right, sir.
Okay, yeah. But thanks for your thoughts, all right?
Appreciate your time.
All right. I got a call to make to you, so look out for it. But thank you for taking that time. And thank you all for allowing us, and as we close out, maybe let's just share a number of comments that came through earlier on the, message board, as it were. One individual writes, in relation to the referendum, shared that, the gentleman that called earlier, he says, wanted to say that if, that he trusts the referendum should be a simple majority win and not the convoluted way that they did the constitutional vote and determine how it is carried. So, for example, if 100 people voted and 51 said yes, then that is how the vote is carried. Likewise, some of the listeners in relation to the referendum, I'll just read what was shared. So I'm going through the motions, what and how can this help us live with inflation being, so high? That's in relation to the referendum questions. There isn't even any mental help when the gambling addiction and the decriminalization and all the evils that these things bring. One listener shares it this way. So if we educate our people and make them aware that their odds of winning a lottery is 1 in 50,000, but their odds of succeeding through education and hard work is 1 in 5, why are we pushing a lottery? Perhaps real statistics and information needs to be shared so the government and our people can make an informed decision. So we are enslaving or freeing our people when we attempt to legalize addictive behaviors like gambling and or ganja. Now, your thoughts. Lead us with you as well. Says, I agree with the caller. The government is taking the Cayman people for fools. Caller is right about the cruise ships, bottom dwellers such as Carnival as well as Royal Caribbean, who want control over the cruise business in these islands. Fine deal in Jamaica and Honduras that we know of. I won't be surprised if the same is in the Bahamas as well. And agreeing with this last caller that there is not enough for all the cruisers to do here on busy days. It becomes a bad zoo. I spent 17 years working in tourism here. I'm aware of the inside negotiations. Well, a couple of things quickly that come to light, and that is we are still a people willing to engage publicly and share in a respectful and responsible manner, and similar whenever we have differences of opinion, if we can continue to voice them in a way that ensures as much as possible all have an equal say, and hopefully what is decided in the country's interests is for all and sunder as much as possible long term. With that in mind, perhaps the whole notion that there is indeed an opportunity now for a very sustained, concerted, consistent effort at education and information that is accurate, informed, timely, and objective. Like many who looked at some of the issues, well, the U.S. state and California, as they proposed their Towards Tobacco 21 initiative, showed that just giving people information to make an informed decision as to when they start and impact and negative consequences of so doing brought about positive consequences from the perspective of reduced smoking, the delayed start in taking up smoking, all legal, and when they weighed it, they saw decreased costs in healthcare, increase and improve, productivity, and most importantly, people's lives were extended and a better quality of life. So let's continue as we look forward to the general elections and all the campaigning and the politicking that will go place, and we will see ourselves in a space and a time when we are, sufficiently informed. To the issues of beach erosion and the like, to education and the need for sustained health sector, well, so much is to be shared. One final point from one of our listeners says, very much like the directions a judge would give to the jurors, the way it's worded could impact the outcome, and so cautions the government to ensure that how the question is worded is one that allows that decision to be taken without any inference nor undue influence. All right, come back tomorrow, God's willing, for more talk today right after the midday news. Thank you so much for listening. If you are being reminded, 7:30 tonight on Radio Cayman, the press briefing will be, repeated. Of course, the CIG channel is also there available to you. Have a great afternoon, God's willing. See you tomorrow.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.